Welcome to the Anh English. Imagine it's a quiet evening. The world around you has slowed down. The soft hum of the ceiling fan fills the room, and the distant sound of a car on the street breaks the silence every now and then. You're alone with your thoughts, and questions start to surface, questions you've been avoiding during the busy hours of the day. Why do I hesitate to commit? What am I so afraid of? What if I make the wrong decision? These questions don't demand answers immediately. They linger softly, like whispers, waiting for you to notice them. We've all been there, caught in moments of reflection that leave us wondering about the choices we make or don't make. Commitment, whether it's a job, a relationship, or even a small promise to ourselves, can feel overwhelming. But why? What lies behind this fear that seems to grip so many of us? Tonight, let's take a moment to sit with these questions, not to solve them instantly, but to explore them together. Think of this as a conversation, a gentle journey through the layers of our hesitation. Together, we'll uncover what commitment truly means and why it feels so daunting. Take a deep breath. Let's begin. The fear of commitment is more common than you might think. It doesn't mean you're weak, indecisive, or incapable. It simply means you care. You care about making the right choice, about doing things well, and about avoiding mistakes. That's not a flaw, it's part of being human. This fear often shows up because what you're considering, whether it's starting a new relationship, taking on a big project, or even trying a new hobby, matters to you. Deep down, you want to do it right. And that's why hesitation sneaks in. It's like your mind's way of double-checking before you take a step forward. Think about it. When something doesn't matter to you, you don't spend much time worrying about it. But when it's something important, you feel the weight of it, and that's okay. It's not a sign that you're failing. It's a sign that you're invested. So if you've ever found yourself second-guessing or holding back, remember this. Fear of commitment isn't a weakness. It's a reflection of your care and thoughtfulness. Let's look at it not as a problem to fix, but as a signal to understand. Only by recognizing its roots can we begin to move forward. Fear of commitment doesn't arise from nowhere. It has roots. And understanding those roots is the first step to overcoming it. One of the most common fears is the loss of freedom. Making a choice often feels like closing the door on other possibilities. Imagine choosing a book to read. Picking one means leaving countless others behind. Now magnify that feeling to bigger life decisions, a career path, a relationship, or even a long-term goal. It's no wonder the weight of what if feels so heavy. A friend of mine once said, "What if choosing one thing means missing out on everything else?" That thought alone can paralyze us. Another root of the fear is the worry about not being good enough. It's not just about whether you can succeed, it's about whether you're even worthy of trying. Thoughts like, what if I fail? What if I let someone down? What if I'm not perfect? Can make us hesitate before we even start. Then there's the fear of past experiences repeating themselves. A failed relationship, a project that didn't work out, or even a broken promise to yourself can leave scars. These memories whisper doubts into your mind. What if this ends up just like before? Understanding these fears doesn't make them disappear, but it gives them less power. They're no longer invisible forces holding you back. They're simply thoughts and patterns you can work through. Let's take a closer look at how to start untangling them. What if we shifted our perspective on commitment? Instead of seeing it as a loss, a door closing on other possibilities, what if we saw it as a gain? Commitment isn't about giving something up. It's about gaining focus, growth, and the chance to build something meaningful. Choosing one path doesn't mean abandoning all others forever. It means giving yourself the opportunity to explore deeply, rather than skimming the surface of everything. Think of it this way. When you plant a tree, you commit to caring for it. You water it, give it sunlight, and watch it grow. Yes, it takes time and effort, but what you gain, a sturdy tree that offers shade, beauty, and even fruit, makes it worthwhile. Similarly, when you commit to something, you're planting seeds for future rewards. It's also worth remembering that perfection isn't the goal. A commitment doesn't have to be flawless. It just has to be genuine. It's about showing up, trying, and learning along the way. So instead of asking, "What will I lose if I commit?" try asking, "What could I gain?" When we approach commitment with this mindset, it starts to feel less like a trap and more like an opportunity to grow, connect, and create something lasting. Commitment doesn't have to be a giant leap. It can start with small, simple steps. In fact, building trust in yourself and your ability to commit begins with little promises and tiny actions. Start with something manageable, like making a small promise to yourself. For example, decide to drink a glass of water first thing in the morning, or take a 5-minute walk each evening. These aren't monumental tasks, but when you follow through, you send yourself a powerful message. I can do this. I can commit. Another way to practice is by completing small, achievable tasks. Whether it's organizing your desk or finishing a book you've started, these small wins build momentum. Each time you complete something, you reinforce the idea that commitment doesn't have to be overwhelming. It can be simple and rewarding. Remember, every big accomplishment starts with small, consistent actions. Just as a staircase is climbed one step at a time, commitment grows through the little choices you make daily. These steps may feel insignificant at first, but over time, they add up, creating a foundation of trust and confidence in your ability to stick with something. One of the reasons commitment feels so intimidating is because it requires vulnerability. To commit is to open yourself up, to show your hopes, fears, and even imperfections. For many of us, that level of openness can feel risky. What if I fail? What if others judge me? These thoughts can hold us back, keeping us in our comfort zone. But here's the truth. Vulnerability isn't a weakness, it's a strength. It's what allows us to form genuine connections with others and with ourselves. When you let yourself be seen, imperfections and all, you create the possibility of deeper relationships and greater self-awareness. Think of a time when you took a chance, even though you weren't sure of the outcome. Maybe it was trying a new hobby, joining a group, or sharing your feelings with someone close to you. Even if the experience was uncomfortable at first, you likely grew from it. Vulnerability leads to growth because it pushes you to explore new parts of yourself and the world around you. The same applies to commitment. Saying yes to something, even when it scares you, isn't about guaranteeing success. It's about being brave enough to try. Growth doesn't come from staying in the same place. It comes from stepping out of your comfort zone and embracing the unknown. To move forward, it helps to redefine what commitment means to you. Instead of viewing it as an all-or-nothing decision, think of it as a flexible journey. Commitment doesn't mean locking yourself into something forever. It's about showing up, making an effort, and allowing room for growth. Consider this. Commitment is not about perfection. It's about progress. Each step you take, no matter how small, builds momentum. When you shift your mindset from, "I have to succeed immediately," to, "I'll learn as I go," the pressure eases, and the process becomes less intimidating. Additionally, commitment is not a solo endeavor. It's okay to seek support from others. Whether it's a mentor, a friend, or a community, having people who encourage you and share in your journey can make all the difference. They remind you that you're not alone and that even the strongest people need help sometimes. Lastly, commitment is an act of self-trust. When you decide to pursue something, you're telling yourself, I believe in my ability to grow and adapt, and even if things don't go as planned, that's okay. Every experience, successful or not, teaches you something valuable about yourself and your path. Commitment often feels overwhelming because we focus too much on the big picture. Instead of worrying about the final outcome, start with one small, actionable step. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't need to grow an entire garden overnight. Just plant one seed and nurture it patiently. For example, if you're hesitant to start a new project, set a timer for 10 minutes and work on it. If it's a relationship you're unsure about, try opening up about something small. These small actions create momentum, making the next step feel a little easier. Remember, commitment isn't about being fearless. It's about choosing to move forward despite the fear. It's okay to take your time, to make mistakes, and to feel uncertain. What matters is that you're trying. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Every step you take builds trust in yourself and reinforces the belief that you can handle challenges. Over time, these small wins lead to bigger changes, and the fear of commitment begins to lose its grip. Thank you for studying with the Anh English.